Hello guys, in this lecture I just want to continue with building the tutorial application entirely with the cloud. So our ingredients are GitHub, Codenvy, NVY, and PhpCloud. This is Codenvy, NVY, and PhpCloud. We have been able to build a controller. Here we go, and a view for all the actions. Here it is, the index action. Here it is, the edit action. Delete. Okay, I'm not gonna show all of them. So let's continue further. The next step is database and models. You can see the URL where you can find the tutorial application framework Zend Men 2.0 English user guide database and models HTML. Okay. Now we have to build one table and insert records there. So following the tutorial, I'm just copying the SQL statements. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do it. Now first I wanna mention that the goal of this tutorial is not to show how to build a tutorial application. The tutorial application is very well described in the web, but my goal is to show it how to build it using Codenvy and entirely cloud-based development. So go to PhpCloud and open database management. Manage your database using PHP MySQL. Oh, I already have one table, so let me remove this album, and I'm gonna drop this table. Yes. Okay. So as you can see, my database is absolutely empty. The database has the same name as the name of my container in PhpCloud. Here it is, my container, and the database, as I said, has the same name and also shares the same password for accessing. Okay, in order to create our table and insert records, I'm gonna execute the SQL, choosing here SQL and pasting whatever I copied from the tutorial, and I'm gonna hit go. That's it, the album has been created and we are ready to continue. Okay, the model files. First thing to do is we need a model. It's very well explained in the tutorial that in Zend we have two options. One of them, those are different design patterns actually. One of the options is to create object classes actually and instantiate objects of those classes, and these objects represent the domain logic. This is a domain model design pattern. But to communicate with the database, in this case we will need a data mapper, which is another design pattern. So let me zoom it and show you. It's a very well explained, and I just went to this. One approach is to have model classes represents each entity in your application, and then use mapper objects that load and save entities to the database. Another is use ORM, object relational mapping, like Doctrine or Propel. Okay, so in this case, in this tutorial, I think the guy is using the first approach. I will check again that. So let's create the file in our model folder. Here it is, our album. This is the module controller, we go to the model, we create a new PHP file. Oops. I'm gonna paste, and it should be called album PHP. Okay. Okay, so the name of the file is album PHP in models. Okay, so we are gonna use table data gateway design pattern, even though for the design pattern used in entire Zend framework, which is transaction script, is recommended to use active record, but table data gateway is a good design pattern. Okay, so we'll discuss this later. Now that's done, let's see what's next. Now I'm not gonna write the tests right now because I'm gonna do this in another movie, in another recording. We have to create an album table. The class which we just created, album, is actually the model, and we need a table data gateway. Now we are gonna create a file which represents the table data gateway. Oops, sorry. Let me first save the file, and after that I will change the content. And as I said, we'll have a discussion on the content later. Just let's concentrate on building everything properly here. So, album table. Okay, so we have the album table. Let's see what's next. Yeah, we have to use the service manager and the module manager. Okay, this is what we have to add to our module file, which we created in the previous lection. Okay, this is absolutely mandatory. Album model. Let me close some of them. So here it is, the absolutely mandatory file. Actually, I already have added those statements, but I'm gonna do it again. Just replace the previously added, and here it is, autoloader config and get config methods. They are here, autoloader, get config, and after them I'm gonna put the new stuff. The tutorial is really very good, and there are no syntax errors, no errors at all, so it works very easy. Okay, I just will attract your attention to the parts which we have to change. Okay, so far so good. We have created a module which is album, a data and table data gateway, album table, and we have added to the module information so the service manager actually can take care of our model. Now let's see what is next. Yeah, now we have to concentrate on the global configuration. We have to add the information about the database. Okay, let's do that. Module config global. Let's open global. Okay, as you can see, the global is empty. It returns an empty array. Instead of empty array, now we have to return this. I'm gonna comment this return array, keep it for just for any case, and to be able to see what the situation was before. Global, of course, here it's very important now. You don't put Zend Framework 2 tutorial. You have to put the name of your container. The name of my container is Wingman. This is the name of my container, actually is also the name of my database. So I'm gonna put here Wingman. And another important thing is localhost. Instead of localhost, we have to put the address of the URL of our database, which is again the name of your container. In your case will be something different. My PhpCloud.com. Okay, that's done. Now we have to create a local with our credentials. Probably I will pause and show you when I have done it. So basically you put your username and password to access your database. Let me create it and show it to you, and after that I will pause, create mine, and resume again. So this is gonna be called PHP Local PHP. Just paste it here, save as, and there is something local. Yep. Okay. Pay attention to that now. The username here should be the username for your container, and the password should be the password for your container, which are the same. You share the same username and the password as for your container. They are the same like for your database. So I'm gonna pause now and resume shortly when I'm done with that. I don't want to show my username and password. Okay, so before we continue, I want to attract your attention to something. Eventually, for each one of the students, the container, of course, will be called differently. So the database name also will be different. This as well. So I'm gonna move this statement to my local because it's not global, and I don't want to push this to the repository as well. So that's why what I'm gonna do is just comment this and paste it in my local. I still didn't enter my real username and password, and I'm gonna paste it here. I want the data source name to be in the local, because for each one of the developers it's gonna be different. Okay, so now I'm gonna pause and put my credentials, username, password, and we will continue. Okay, so my local has been created properly. My global is ready. So let's see what's next. I'm not gonna test, as I said. I'm gonna use testing. Okay, let's prepare the controller. We have to add this to our controller, and this property also. First, let me add the property. Album controller, album controller. Going to the end of the class, and I will be adding, oops, sorry, it's a property. Oh, I already have done it for another lection. So you add it here somewhere in the beginning of the file in the class. And I'm gonna add the additional method. Okay, we're almost done. Now, not gonna write a test. Listing albums. All we have to do is just connect to our database, extract all the rows, and send it to our view. So let's do that. Get album, fetch all. And now we have to create, of course, our view. Album, album, and since this method is index action, we are gonna look at for index view. And add here this code. That's it. Following the tutorial, actually it's over here. This part of the tutorial, creating the database and connecting to the database, is over. Since the time is running, I'll stop, and later I'll show you how to create forms and what is specific for the forms. But first, let's make sure that this works. Whatever we have done, it is correct and is gonna work. The most important thing here, and that's why I'm actually doing all this tutorial, is just show you that in the config folder in autoload we have a gitignore, which will not allow us to send the local PHP to the PhpCloud, Zend PhpCloud, and we don't want that because our way to communicate with PhpCloud is through Git. Later, of course, when we want to push to the GitHub, right now I'm not gonna do it, we will remove the local PHP because in any case we won't need it here in the our integrated development environment. It's needed only on the deployment server. So gitignore, let me show you. See, so the file local PHP and local and anything called something.local.php will be ignored. In order not for this to happen, I'm gonna comment and save it. Okay. Now I think we are almost done. Let me check again. So the global and the local PHP has been created. Actually, global has been changed and the local has been created. Album controller, we have changed it. We have a model album, we have a table gateway album table. Module has been changed, so everything looks right. And the local and global local actually will be sent to Zend. Let me do git add. I have done this selection before, so I had to remove some of the files. Hopefully everything works fine, because some files have been deleted and I didn't do add, commit and push, so I just hope that everything is gonna work. But those are the basic steps. Yeah, successfully added. Let's see now, can we do commit? I have created config file commit. So the most important is just to concentrate on the configuration file only there are the differences from the tutorial. Okay, and now I'm gonna push to our deployment server, which is Zend. Push. Let's see if everything works. Okay, let's see now our application. Hopefully everything works. Yep, it works. So let's try now to see album. This is our newly created module. Yep, and here we go. All the records from the table are shown, as you can see. I'm just wondering, do I have time to continue and create the form for add, edit, and to implement delete? Okay, so because everything goes smooth so far, let's try to continue. The next step is to take care of edit, delete, and create a new record. Styling and translation, I'm not gonna show this right now. Forms and actions. Okay, so let's take care first to add a new album. Of course, for this purpose we have to build a form, as we do in Zend Framework 1. The form, of course, is a little bit different. We'll call it album form PHP. So let's create this. The proper place to do this, it's in module album, in the source, album form. We don't have anything now. We're gonna create a new file, PHP file, and we are gonna call it album form. Yes, it's so easy, it's simple to follow the tutorial, which is in Zend Framework 2. It's great. Okay, so copy and paste here. As I said, I'm doing all this tutorial just to show you the specifics, and so far I show it to you that you have to correct the git ignore and change also the name of the database, of course, and probably move the data source name to the local, because you don't want this to be pushed to Git repository. Okay. What you can do right now is you can go to config, autoload. You can even remove local PHP. I'm not gonna do it right now because I'm not planning to commit to GitHub, but this is one way to do it. If you remove it, you can remove it from here, from Git. It will be removed from the IDE, from the integrated development environment, but will stay on the remote server. And if we need to do changes, we have to recreate again, add, commit, push to the remote. Okay, not gonna do it right now, as I said. Let's hurry to build the add, to create add, edit. Okay, album model. Now, the important part here in Zend Framework 2 is that they have separated the form from the validation and input filters. Now, the input filters go to the model in this tutorial. I have to think about that again. I have to think about, is that the best approach? But in any case, I'm gonna follow this good tutorial. So let's go to the model, album model. Here we go. And make the album implement the input filter aware. Wait a second. Get input filter. Yeah. Here we go. Before was only class album. Now we have to add also this protected. Get input filter. Return this. Exchange array. And we had already exchange array, so I just have to add this part. Only this snippet. And I'm gonna do it. Okay. Just for any case, as I said, I have done it, but and I checked that everything works here. Just for any case, I'm gonna copy this snippet, which we had already, and paste it again. Public function exchange array. Okay, it's exactly the same. Okay, so we are ready with the filters and validators. Now we have to change a little bit our controller. Go to our controller here, album controller. And we're gonna change the add action. Here we go. Now instead of just one function method with empty body, we added the content. Okay. Okay, here we have a description of what this method does. It instantiates an album form, get submit, set value add, exchange array, redirect to list of albums. After adding the record, it redirects us to the list of the albums. And we return the form, which will be displayed in our view. So before in Zend Framework 1, in my view, it was enough just to say echo this form. Now it's more difficult. Maybe it's for good. I hope it's for good. It's not that easy anymore. But at the same time, we have better control. So I'm adding this to my add PHTML, which is the view script for the action add. Okay, and that's it about the add. So let's try and see if that works. Okay, so let's say git add. First let me go here, git add everything. Eventually the form will be added, and the changes we have made on the album controller also. Okay, git commit, form was created, and validators. Commit, and I'm gonna push now to our deployment server PhpCloud. Git remote push Zend push, and let's try and see how it looks. Okay, so let's refresh. It's not necessary. Add new album. Yep, it works. As you can see, our custom text, which customizes even the tutorial. Here we can add title, artist, and hit add. This should add a new album. Let's try, for example, first let me go back and show the albums. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we'll add the sixth, which will say test number 6 artist. Okay, so I'm gonna put some name. First one, it's my name, Stoyan. Add, let's see if it works. Yeah, here we go. Test. The next thing we have to do is edit, delete, and our application will be completed. So we described how to create a form. We described how to create a CRUD, simple CRUD, create, retrieve, update, delete. Okay, the next thing to do is editing album. We have the form already. All we have to do is just add content to the edit in the controller. I'm gonna copy it like that. I think I have it open, but album table. So let me find it. Album controller. Here we go. Edit action. Here we go. Edit action. We received the ID from the URL. If there is no ID, we go to add album, this get album. Yeah, we will describe this in the next lection. Right now, as I said, my goal is just to show you how to build a tutorial application entirely in the cloud. That's it. Here it is, the explanation. If you like, you can go and read it. Get array copy. Module model album. Let me see. We have to add get array copy in our model. So let's do that. Album. Let me check again. Yeah. Exchange array. I just put it. I'm just gonna put it under the exchange array. The method below are for validation and filtration, and these two, exchange array and get array, are taking care of the model and hydration as described here. So edit, let's see what else. We have to create the view, of course. Let's add this to the view. Config data module, album, view, album, and here we go, edit. We just add our text here in the view, and hopefully that's all. As I said, I'm not gonna do the tests. Yeah, that's all. Let's do again git add, not ready yet. Let's wait until the files get added. After that we'll do git commit, edit, has been implemented, commit, and we are gonna push it to our deployment server, which is PhpCloud. Git remote push, we are choosing Zend push. Okay, let's see if everything works. We didn't break anything. Yeah, the only thing I don't like about this this development is that we very often have to do push, add, commit, push in order to deploy. I had the habit of writing few lines and after that checking with my browser. So here actually I have to do more work, bigger chunks of code, and after that deploy in order to save time. So I will see my workflow, what will be my workflow. Yep, it works. In my dreams, let me add one at the end, edit. Yeah, as you can see, has been done. And the last thing is the easiest one, delete. We have to implement right now, delete. Add content to the following method, which is delete, and we will be done. After that we will have a complete CRUD application. Again, we are looking for the album controller, delete action. Here we go. Let me look if we have to do something else. Yeah, delete PHTML, of course. Yeah, it's a little bit more complicated because we have to answer the question, yes, I want to delete it, or cancel, I don't want to delete it. So let me add it here. We can do it with JavaScript. Later in the lections I'm going to show that. So we'll save this code. Module, album, sorry, I click on the application, view, album, delete. And I'm gonna keep our signature on top, saving this, and hopefully that's it. Ensuring that the home page displays the list of albums. Module config and find the home root. Oh no, I'm not gonna do that, that's enough for me. I will assume that this album is only a part of my application. I don't want when you access the home page to go directly to the list of the albums. So I'm gonna finish here with the code, but before that, of course, I have to do git add everything, git commit, git push to deploy the application. And we'll finish for today with this lection. Git commit, added delete action, commit. As I said, the goal of this lection is just to show you how to do all the tutorial in the cloud, not to explain the tutorial itself. I'm gonna do this in a separate lection. Okay, so push, Zend, push. It's mostly technical stuff. Let's make sure that everything works now. Go to the URL of our application, refresh. Hopefully everything works. Yeah. Okay, let's try to remove now our last record. Delete. Are you sure you want to delete test 6 by Stoyan? Yes, I want. And here we go. Everything works. So I can add album. Test number 7, just as a proof. Test number 7. Add. I can edit. Test number 10. I'm gonna change this also to 10. For example, I'm gonna put my family name just as a proof that edit works. Yeah, here we go, test number 10, and I'm gonna delete it. So create, retrieve, update, delete works in our application. That's it for today, guys. Thank you for your attention. See you next time.